What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and it is time to now talk about my favorite 10 movies of 2021 as we come to the end of the year. So happy new year, everybody. Hope you had a great 2021. If not, I hope you have a great 2022. Not to say that if you had a great 21 that I hope you have a crap 22. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying happy new year. So let's get into the list, starting with my 10th favorite of the year. And I noticed one thing making this list, like a lot of these movies are original scripts, lower budget at times relatively. And you know, my worst movies of the year had all my favorite franchises on it. You know, had the Matrix franchise, had the Coming to America franchise, had the Candyman franchise, the Addams Family franchise, the Halloween franchise. It's just insane. The Saw franchise, but you know, that's Hollywood, right? All these, you know, franchise sequels are just garbage, but there are some good movies to be found, and I think that some of them will be on this list. So this is my favorite 10, and it starts with a movie called Wrath of Man. This is a Jason Statham movie, and it came out earlier this year. I did a review on it. A really cool film, just a solid movie. I'm not saying it's the most original script ever written at all. Jason Statham plays a guy who, I mean, he's a highly skilled, highly trained, you know, killer if he needs to be. But in this particular case, he's trying to get some answers to the death of one of his loved ones. So he ends up getting a job that he's much underqualified for, but he gets the job anyway to try to be part of his investigation. And that job is as a security guard for one of those truck companies that pick up money and stuff. So armored truck companies. But the movie's got some solid music. I love it. It's just a cool vibe. I don't remember everything I said about this in my positives, but I just know I really enjoyed this movie. I need to check it out again. I need to actually buy this movie. Check out my review if you want. But yeah, I just remember it having some good, strong suspense, some good music, even some good humor. Not stupid humor, not forced jokes, just natural humor, the way people talk. And I really enjoyed this one, Wrath of Man. Coming up next is going to be A Quiet Place Part 2. This movie I really enjoyed as well. I don't think it's like epic or anything on all-timer, but a really good sequel to a really good horror movie. John Krasinski obviously making these, and I think it may lead to one more. I haven't researched this, I'm not sure yet, but I think there may be one more on the way. It just felt like a nice solid trilogy is in order here, but I'm not sure about that. But this film had some epic moments, some really horrific moments that are just awesome. You know, everyone trying not to make a sound. There's a bear trap moment. Imagine stepping on a bear trap and not making a sound. Good luck with that. You know, stepping on a nail and not making a sound. Good luck with that. But this movie's got a lot of those moments. It's a really intriguing movie. Again, great suspense in this one as well. And a really solid horror franchise that's developing here. I see it as a horror franchise that needs to, you know, stay limited, 2 or 3 movies at the most. But you know, there was still a little more story to be told, and I really enjoyed it. There's John Krasinski's in it a little bit, and yeah, I'd highly recommend checking this one out. A Quiet Place Part 2 coming in at number 9, which brings us to number 8, a movie called Pig with the great Nicolas Cage. And you never know if a movie's going to be good if Nicolas Cage is in it. Usually he's the best part of the movie, but in this case, this movie was genuinely really good, really well made, solid film about a guy who's out in the middle of nowhere, out in the woods, and it's Nicolas Cage, and he's got a pig, and the pig kind of helps him to find truffles, which he then sells, and that's how apparently he makes his money. But you start to learn that there's more to him than that. He used to be a professional chef, like a big-time chef. He's actually a legend, and so when his pig gets stolen from him, and he goes to look for his pig and starts asking questions, you know, people know who he is. Sometimes they give him his proper respect, sometimes not so much, but they know who he is. And it's interesting. And, you know, he's not a guy who's just going to go guns a-blazing and shooting people and breaking their necks to find the pig, which makes it more interesting. You know, it's more like, you know, a normal person might, you know, do. You're going to investigate. You're going to ask questions. You're going to try to find out what the hell happened. Who has my damn pig? You find that effing pig. Little Billy Madison reference right there if you've seen that movie. But yeah, the movie is really intriguing, really good. I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. I would highly recommend it. It's got some really solid moments. Even this one, I believe, had a couple of laugh out loud moments that, again, very naturally put in the movie. I actually multiple laugh out. Like seriously, it's just funny how these movies that are not comedies make me laugh a lot harder than genuine comedies do, because the jokes are not forced. It's just the way that people act. I'm going to come back to that point more in more of these movies that are genuinely funny. And you get like genuine laughs instead of just like, that's supposed to be funny, so it's funny, like dumb jokes. No, I'm not laughing at that crap. Okay, but I did laugh a lot in this one. Pig has just got everything, a really good drama movie, and I would highly recommend it. Next up, similar story on this one, a little more family friendly, but this movie also awesome. It's called Dreamhorse. This one, it tells the true story of this woman who decides, you know what, I want to make a horse. I want to make a racehorse. So she talks to her husband, convinces him to help out, and they get a mare. And then, of course, they got to find the stallion, and then they're able to create this little horse, and they call him, what do they call him? Dream Alliance. And this horse, this is based on a true story. This horse, of course, ends up being a really good racehorse. There's some, twists and turns along the way. It's, not the most, unpredictable movie ever made, because, it's based on a true story about a horse that obviously is going to do well and win some races, right? I mean, you could figure that out. That being said, I thought this movie just was so well made. You really get into the story, and the movie's got some great dramatic moments that are just so well made. The shots and everything in the races is so well done, and the practicing and everything, but also the actors, everyone. Toni Collette is in this movie. She plays the main character. She's absolutely awesome in this movie, and it's very funny too. Very funny in a natural way. The way that they talk is just, you just find some really funny moments in this movie. Just some of the shots are hilarious, and you don't even know why. You just start laughing. Like, it's just very well done. But a very entertaining movie, and just extremely well done movie. I think it has 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not a surprise at all. This is a really solid movie. And also, even though it's PG, the adults talk like adults talk. I'm surprised it's PG. The adults talk like adults talk. There's some little edgy stuff in here, the way they talk. I was like, dang, I like that. Because, I want it to feel natural. I don't want it to feel like some movie that, is on Lifetime or something, or Nickelodeon, worst thing yet. But no, this is a solid film. I would highly recommend Dreamhorse, coming in at number 7. Which brings us to number 6, The Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad. I reviewed this one earlier this year, and I loved this movie. It was a lot of fun. One of the better DC movies in a long time. I don't remember where I ranked it, but I did a DC ranking, and I'm pretty sure I had it up there pretty high. This movie's just a lot of fun, a lot of cool action. This is, what I think a comic book movie should be. It's not, again, brilliant or anything like that. I'm putting it higher than some of these other movies, and even though I think that some of these movies I've already talked about are probably better movies, but because I'm a fan of the DC, and, I love Harley Quinn, and just, these are these big budget movies that they should be good. The story should be good and solid, and the comedy should be good, and this movie has all that. It has some really funny moments. And it's very intriguing, and the action is awesome, and it's just a big improvement over the other Suicide Squad movie, which I actually don't hate, but I think it's an improvement over that one for sure. And the Suicide Squad, I don't remember all my thoughts on it. Again, check out my review if you want that, but I just remember really loving this movie. I haven't checked it out since. It's a movie I also need to pick up on 4K. Let's go. But, it takes a little bit of ching-ching, so I haven't picked it up yet. But The Suicide Squad, a really fun movie. Coming up next one, I remember a little bit better, even though I think it came out around the same time. But this one, I liked a little bit more. This is an original story. I thought this was just a fantastic movie. It's called Free Guy. Really thought this movie was freaking awesome. I really did. Free Guy was a huge surprise. It looked like it was going to be a dumb Disney garbage movie with Ryan Reynolds. It turns out to be just a fantastic original story about the video game world, and most people have or do play video games and kind of understand how video games are, and they're getting more and more advanced and more sophisticated. And this movie, this guy within the video game actually becomes self-aware, which is absolutely insane. And the way it was executed was really good, really funny movie, and I thought it had some good heart too. Not completely predictable. There was a couple moments towards the end I didn't love. I think it went a little bit cartoonish, over the top. That's my only complaint about it, though. All in all, this was a really fun movie. Free Guy, would highly recommend this one. It comes in at number 5. Up next, coming in at number 4, is a horror film called Malignant. This movie is absolutely batshit crazy, but I love this movie. A great horror film, in my opinion. I think some people will love it, some people will hate it. It's about this girl who's having crazy visions, and it looks like nightmares of people getting murdered, and then come to find out it's actually happening. It seems like she's doing them, but there's no way she's doing them. She has nothing to do with these murders. You can tell this is an innocent person, but somehow she's connected to all these murders. She's trying to figure it out, and it's a really interesting story, but it's a very horrifying movie as well. And it's a crazy movie. Like I said, it's got just a wild soundtrack. It's just insanely original, and that's the cool thing about it. It's not like any movie you've seen before, and so you got to give it credit there. Some people will love it, some people will hate it, like I said, but I think it's pretty damn cool. I love this movie. I think it's pretty damn awesome. I didn't see the twist coming at all, so some people have, and some people will say, dude, you can see that coming a mile away. I'm someone who usually does see those coming, but I think when I was watching this, I was just so engaged in the movie. I wasn't thinking about it too much, trying to figure it out. I was just, scene to scene, enjoying it. And so when it was revealed, the twist, I was like, holy shit. I would highly recommend this movie. It's pretty damn cool. Again, you may hate this movie, but I think every horror fan should check out Malignant. Which brings us to number 3, a movie called Dune. And I went to see this movie not knowing a whole bunch about it. I hadn't seen the other movie, I hadn't read the book, I hadn't had much knowledge. I knew it was an original property that was being, redone here. And I was really impressed by this movie. And it's just the shots and the seriousness of it, though. It's like Star Wars vibes, but good Star Wars. Not Disney Star Wars. It takes place out in the desert. It's a movie that just I got really, really into, even though the only thing I would say is the first time watch, I couldn't follow everything, understand exactly what was going on. I think having a little knowledge of this universe would help. Dune fans, I think most Dune fans, I would assume, will love this movie. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. But as a non-Dune fan, just walking in, not knowing nothing, I was really engaged. Every single frame was awesome. The soundtrack was really cool, even though maybe it wasn't like really loud and charging, but it just had some cool sounds to it that really fit. I'll say that. Just a really cool theatrical experience. And just the visuals really were awesome. The acting was awesome. And scenes I really got into. The only thing I would say, it definitely feels like half a movie, because it is. There's going to be a sequel. And I can't wait for that second half. I hope that the second one is even better than this one. It's going to be a tall task. But this movie is really good. Really solid movie. I'm not having it as my number 1 or 2 because I think just the story, again, I didn't think was the most intriguing. But just the way the film was shot, it really gave me like a feeling of some awesome sci-fi that I haven't seen in a long time. It's my favorite sci-fi movie in a long time, I can tell you that, and I'm really looking forward to the second one. Coming up next is going to be a movie called Antlers. This is a horror film that I really, really love. A great horror film, my favorite horror film of the year. It is a Wendigo movie, this crazy deer-like beast, and with the antlers and all that, that's why it's called Antlers. But it's really well done and told in a really great way. And there's also some messaging in this movie. I wouldn't say it's over the top, extremely, in your face. It is obviously there. You can't really miss it, but at the same time, it's part of an awesome story, and the horror is still there and all that. And you have this little boy who's going to school and looking all messed up, looking like he's not eating enough, looking like he might be getting abused. So the teacher is obviously concerned, trying to figure out what's going on. And the whole story of what happened, with his dad, who was, running a meth lab out of a cave, and how his dad got attacked. And we're trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And once you find out what's going on, the more you find out, you're like, oh my God, it's just insane. A lot of interesting scenes in this one. Really engaging movie. I really thought it had everything that you want in a horror movie. Great cinematography as well. The horror elements are there. The cinematography is there. And this movie, it's just a pretty damn solid horror movie. Not the best of all time or anything like that, but actually the best of 21 in my opinion that I saw as far as horror movies go. Antlers really knocked it out of the park for me. But at my number 1, my favorite movie of the year is actually a Netflix movie. It did have a limited release. I was able to see it at theaters. So glad I went to see it. I almost didn't see it. It was out for a couple weeks. I saw it, and I read some quick reviews. And I was like, this movie doesn't sound that great. And I finally went to see it the last or second to last day it was out in theaters, because I didn't want to wait for it to come on Netflix. It's a movie called The Unforgivable with Sandra Bullock. And I was like, damn. When this movie ended, I turned around to my friend. I was like, that's a movie right there. That is a movie. At least that's my opinion, that this movie was just absolutely rock solid. It is about a woman who has been in prison for a long time, 20 years, Sandra Bullock. She finally gets out. She's trying to get back into society. They're not having it. She was convicted of killing a police officer in a really terrible situation when they were trying to evict her from her house. And she was trying to stand her ground with her daughter. And it's just an insane story, and trying to see her go through all these struggles. Yeah, it's got an awesome cast as well. There are a lot of recognizable names that you'll see in this movie, but a fantastic film. And this also, I said I would talk later about it, the comedy, which is not, again, there's no, like, if you read the script, you may not say, there's no comedy in there, right? But the way that it's shot, there are certain moments you're just gonna laugh your ass off. I mean, I think there's just really funny moments in this movie that I can't even put into words how they're able to pull it off, because it's just them acting natural, and you're actually gonna laugh at a couple of moments in this movie. And the theater, even though there wasn't very many people there, we're laughing as well. You know, with me and my friend, we all knew the funny moments, and it was really genuinely funny. But other than that, just the story itself, the drama in this movie, you're also going to have a lot of emotional moments in this movie. It just knocks everything out of the park. This movie's got it all. It's even got some good action moments. You know, like I said in my original review, it's not like an action movie per se, but there are some, fights that bust out and some things like that. And, it's pretty damn awesome. Top to bottom, this is a solid film. I'd highly recommend it. Jump on Netflix and check this one out. It's called The Unforgivable with Sandra Bullock. And it was actually my favorite movie of the year. Sit down Matrix, sit down Spiral, Candyman, Coming to America, all that crap, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, all that crap, not even close. Sandra Bullock's The Unforgivable, I think, is superior to all of those movies, and it's my favorite of 2021. So there you have it. Let me know what y'all think. I know that, this is a strange list, but this is just the truth. I mean, they don't make them like they used to, as they say, and the big budget movies are just not doing it for me. They're just not. They have problems. They're just not good. They're just not cutting it. The Matrix, oh God, and that was a terrible movie. I mean, it's just bad. At least I think. But most of y'all watching this probably haven't seen The Unforgivable, haven't seen Antlers. Maybe you haven't seen Malignant, Free Guy, Dreamhorse. I'm sure nobody's seen Dreamhorse. These movies are freaking good. I wish that these bigger budget movies can be good as well, and let's hope for some better ones in 2022. So you guys have a great day. Have a great new year. Have a good night. Be safe out there. Don't drink and drive, and I'll talk to you next time.